Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Liz and this is Let's Get Lizicle, where we do everything card making. And today we are kicking off the release for my Happy Haunting stamp set, which is super cute. I love it so much. And I made a bunch of fun cards for this, so the next couple of days we'll have some videos for it. But today I thought I would start off by recreating this bridge card I did last year. I'm not going to do it as a bridge card though today. I'm going to do it as a landscaped A2 card instead, so that you can see kind of how I'm like recreating the scene in like a normal quote-unquote size card, as I know a lot of people like strictly do A2 size cards. I for the most part do A2 size cards, but I do like to change it up once in a while. I'll throw in a slimline or mini slimline or whatever. I don't do 5x7s very often. The only time I do those, I think I've mentioned before, is when I have like ones that need to be signed by a bunch of people. I'll do a 5x7 or a 5x7 trifold card even in times. But anyway, I don't want to ramble about card sizes right now because we are talking about the new launch. So yeah, this stamp has, let me count, 15 stamps total in the set. 2 of them are faces for the pumpkins. Those are actually the only 2 that don't have coordinating dies with them. Everything else has a coordinating die. So all of the sentiments, all of the images, minus the pumpkin faces, all have coordinating dies, which is great because I love when the sentiments have the coordinating dies. And I used it quite a bit over the next couple of days for videos, so you'll see that. And there are 3 little ghosties. They all have like their own personality in a sense. They're all a little derpy, but because I did like the different sized eyes. There's one that's kind of just standing there looking somewhat dumbfounded to me. So he's the straight one. There's another one that's like, oh my god, because he's got like his little like hand up to his face, and he's just always like in shock or awe of something. And then there's this other one in the middle, and it's kind of like he's turning back, and he just like, there's so much attitude in this ghost. I love it. I just like, when I did the sketch for this, I was like, yes, this one has to be included. And that's kind of where the boo please sentiment came from, because this one has all the attitude and I love it so much. And this sentiment was actually kind of inspired by our office manager at work, because the one day she was just telling this story, and the way she said it was so funny, and the attitude behind it was hilarious. And she was just telling us this story, and then she didn't say boo please, but I'm pretty sure you can imagine what she said instead. It's just another B word. I don't want to start swearing on my channel. I swear like a sailor in my daily life, so we don't need to add that here. But anyway, yeah, so that's where that came from. I liked the tombstone. Was super nice. Like, I made it fairly large. I tried to somewhat size these the same as my MFT ones. I think it's the Ghostly Greetings set, just because like I love that set as well, but they're obviously no longer in business anyway now, but before they've been sold out of it because it's an older set for a long time. And then it just had like simple little tombstones on it. This one, I liked the quirky shape that I had come up with, and like just adding, I think the cracks really helped with the weathering look of it. So I really like the way the tombstone turned out. I did 2 different sized pumpkins and 2 slightly different sized faces. Like, both these faces work on both of the pumpkins, but like the smiley one's a little bit smaller than the more like Jack Skellington inspired face that I did. But I love them both. They're so cute. Again, one's like the smiley derpy face, and then the other one's just, again, Jack Skellington inspired. And then I have 2 skulls. Originally I was just going to include one. I included one to put on the tombstone, which is the solid one. But I also included a cute little like 3/4 viewed one, so that you could like kind of like build up a pile of them around the base if you wanted to, of the tombstone, or just like, you know, have it there. Maybe one of the ghosts is holding one. I don't know. We'll see. You know, there are ideas. But yeah, so it's just like a super cute set. I feel like it was missing in the market. Like, you just needed like a cute Halloween set. And there are the Happy Haunting and Happy Halloween are the big sentiments. The RIP obviously goes on the tombstone, but you could use it separately if you want to. And then there's a Haunt You Later, and then the Boo Please sentiment. So just, some fun, whimsical little stamp sets that I absolutely love, and I'm going to be using this one so much. But yeah, so the ghosts are super easy to color. I'm just gonna stamp them, and then I usually add a little bit of like light gray just on the inside, just to give them a little bit of depth and dimension. So I'll shade under the arm a little bit and then just go around the edges. Sometimes I blend it out. I added a few dots here and there. I'm just like really into adding dots for texture right now. And these are just some ones that I colored when I had the samples. So I like when stamp sets for pumpkins have the empty faces in them, so you can color them either like a lit pumpkin or just color them in solid black if you want. I don't like it when stamp sets have only the one option where they give you like the solid colored in face, which is why I did not color in the eyes or the mouth for these these pumpkin faces. I mean, the one is like a stitched mouth anyway, but like his eyes and nose you can color in whatever color you want. So again, you can make it look like a glowing pumpkin by doing yellows and oranges on the inside of that, or you can just color them in solid black if that's the look you're going for. And I'm not using the pumpkins for a couple days, but you'll see when I do. I end up just doing it black this time, but next time maybe I want to add that inner glow like I did on the sampled images. But I, again, wanted to make sure you guys had that option because I like when there's more versatility in stamps. So like I did do the one solid skull, which is fine. But then I also included the other styled skull that you could color in if you want. I just like to be able to have the option to do that. So I like to give it to you guys as well. If you're into the stamp set and want to order it, now you can color it any way you want. And then again, I'm recreating a card I did from last year. So for the moon last year, I used like an Alta New stamp set. I think it's called Mini Moon or something like that. But instead of, bringing in another product, I decided to show you guys how I did it just with a circle die. So I picked a circle die that was similar in size, and I'm just kind of coloring the darker areas onto the circle and kind of creating like that moon crater texture. I just kind of like looked at the stamp set and just like, okay, that's how it did, and I just randomized it myself. And then I'm going to color it here in cool grays. I am going to do it again later in warm grays, just because the majority of the card is a warmer tone. So the cool gray kind of looked a little off with this. The warm gray one I do a bit later, which you'll see is way better for this card. So if you have more warm tones in your card, make sure you're using, warm tones throughout and not switching back and forth between warm and cool. Sometimes it works, but I think scenes like this, like it just helps with the atmosphere if you keep them in the same tonal family. So if you're doing yellows and oranges in the backgrounds, keep to the warm grays. If you want to do blues and purples, then I would switch to the cool gray. But yeah, so, and use like lighter colors. I think I used warm gray 3 and 1 or something like that to color, or 2 and 1. It depends on which markers. I think I used the Olo one, so I think I used 3 and 1 to color. So I just color in the darker area first, like all of just like that texture, and then I go over the entire thing with the lighter color because it helps blend it out, and it also gives it the same like tone overall. So that's the way I did that. And now I'm just kind of like trying to recreate my scene here. It's obviously going to be a little bit more squished, which is fine because I think the bridge card I didn't fill it in enough. I sometimes like to do longer cards, but I don't want to do the extra work to fill in the space, so I kind of like do my normal thing and just do like little images here and there, and then it doesn't look as full. So I need to remember that when you're doing larger cards or ones that are extended in some way, like a slimline or a 5x7, that you're also going to need to compensate and do more images for that. And the ones I did last year I drew by hand quickly on camera. If you guys watch that video, I'll link it at the end of this one if you want to see it. But I just kind of like quickly sketched out these little ghosts and the tombstones. And again, the tombstones, I drew them onto some gray cardstock. So I did the same this year when I recreated the card. I stamped it on gray just so I had like a little bit less coloring to do. I still add color to it, as you saw, but it just gives it a little bit more dimension when you add the color to it. So I'm adding the shadows and whatnot. Yeah, see, this moon looks so much better. It just like goes with the scene. The other one just looks so much out of place and I didn't know how to fix it. So I was just like, okay, let's try it in the warm grays, because warm grays are a little bit more on the cream colored side. So that helped you know, coordinate with the scene a little bit better. But yeah, so I also didn't use any dyes for this background, like the hills and stuff. I just kind of sketched them out the way I would want them and cut them out with a pair of scissors. You could use your dyes if you want. I just decided to kind of bring in that DIY that I did last year with the card as well, because again, like I sketched the images from scratch and did them that way. So I was just kind of do the same with this card, where I'm using the tools that I have and not bringing in other ones. Like I do have border dies that do hills and stuff, but like I just wanted to show you guys how to do it without having to have those dies if you don't have them. And cutting hills is really easy. I just use a pencil to quickly sketch it out. You don't necessarily have to do it. You can freehand it, but I find it a little bit easier with a pencil and just like laying it out the way I want it to, because freehand you might want to decide to turn somewhere weird and then you might end up with like a weird pointy section or something. But yeah, that's my rambling on that. So yeah, I propped up the top layer of the hills up on a little bit of the foam tape, the 1" by 1mm foam tape from scrapbook.com, which I love because it's so thin. It just adds a little bit of dimension. And then I forgot to take the release paper off of this, but there was probably a reason for that, because I still need to glue this ghost down, and he doesn't fit now because the tape is blocking him. And then I tried to rip it up, but it ripped up from the top and not the bottom, so then his like hand was stuck on the top underneath, so it was weird. So I'm trying to like peel it up again. This was a bit of a struggle, so I decided to cut his hand off, which I do very slightly too short. So I'm gonna add a little bit of white gel pen there just to continue the border. It's fine. It doesn't look bad at all. No one's gonna notice but me and you guys, because I told you about it. But yeah, so I just fixed it a little bit here, and then I'm gonna add some glitter pen highlights to pretty much everything, because why not? Let's also add in some atmospheric dots. Maybe I should have added some to the ground as well, but I also highlighted the top hill area, so maybe I didn't need it, but it might have, you know, benefited from a few here and there. But I just like love the subtle sparkle that gives, instead of doing the white highlights too. And then I'm going to do this happy haunting stamp, but I'm going to heat emboss it in white and then cut it out and put it in that moon area. But that's pretty much our card for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for day 1 of my happy haunting launch, because I'm super excited about this. I now have a stamp set that I can show that's available that has fun images and can create some cute and some spooky scenes, which you'll see over the next few days. I'll have videos Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. Wednesday is launch, so Wednesday at noon Eastern Standard Time it will be available to purchase. And if you were on my mailing list before, you guys got a little email in your inbox for a special little discount. So if you're not already signed up for my email list, I don't send out emails very often, usually just around launch times, but sometimes I give my email subscribers little perks. So head on over to my website, letsgetlizicle.com, and sign up for that if you don't want to miss out on future discounts and sneak peeks and whatnot that I decide to do for my peeps. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I'll be back tomorrow with another fun card. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know your thoughts. And until next time, thanks guys. Bye.